stood there as his friend took a shot straight at him. And when it looked like he was going to get hit, he made the most casual catch ever. Just watch the bride's reaction. This is why you should never underestimate a younger fighter. This older fighter sat on the floor to mock his opponent. You probably think he will win, but you would be completely wrong. What happened next was actually genius. The older man was way too confident in himself. Suddenly, the younger fighter used his speed at so high appeared air.
This people can't second. This is the tilt in Chicago. It allows visitors to lean against the glass 67. I realized he just wasn't built for it. He bailed before the ride even finished. But will you trust this glass with your life? This girl thought she was the main character, but she celebrated way too early. Look at her sassy victory walk. She thinks the race is already real behind her. She doesn't notice them until it's too late. Suddenly, she gets completely destroyed. Did you see the guy in blue lap?
Bike belt, and this guy found a secret. Actually 100 just lit
on the trail. I noticed like a bell doesn't, saying like on your left doesn't really work. Go, ah! Thank you. That works really well.
But would you try this? This barber just ruined his life. You probably think he's a dude, be completely wrong. His mother was actually fighting like her beauty was gone forever. But how did a simple haircut forgettable moment? He turned the clippers on himself. But the situation gets even more incredible. One by one, his coworkers joined the moment. They all shaved their heads in total silence. Most people would never sacrifice their looks, but this shot proved that let's watch her face at the end. You would do this for your man spends hours building unusual wooden structures. You probably think this is just CGI, but every piece must be the exact size to fit. The attempt already looked promising, but he knew the next one had to be it. It fits so well, it looks like it's AI. Just watch his face when it hits the bottom. This little boy could say anything on the airplane. You probably think he gave a normal greeting, but you would be completely wrong. He had the attention of every single passenger, but you won't believe what he decided to say.
Good afternoon, Flight 619, can I get a oh yeah?
Subscribe if you would ever do this. These students decided to pull their school's chemical shower. You probably think they were just having fun, but you would be completely wrong. Just watch her hair when the brown water hits. But would you trust this shower? Before this plane took off, this guy sent an airdrop to everyone on board. You probably think it was just a normal photo, but you would be completely wrong. His friend next to him wanted to see the picture, but when he opened it, he couldn't believe his eyes.
You're welcome.
This man almost lost his head to this ride. You probably think he is standing far away, but you would be completely wrong. The first guy was lucky and only lost some hair. But how did this simple game turn into a nightmare? The next person was too tall, so he had to bend down. But the final guy was never seen again. This man grew his hair for 10 whole years. You probably think he just likes the look, but you would be completely wrong. His hair is actually a dangerous weapon. He reached a length of almost 7 feet. But how did his hair turn into a weapon? He braids it until it acts like a whip. Just watch it hit the sonic boom at the end. These people paid $500 just to get shot. You probably think they have lost their minds, but they have a very unusual reason for it. This is the most dangerous course in the world. It tests your endurance with thick mud everywhere. But how do you reach the finish line? You must survive 10,000 volts of electricity. One tiny hit can drop you instantly, but once they make it through, they are finally done. Would you try this? This man covered his entire head in paint using a method called body marbling. You won't believe how insane the final result looks once he rinses it off in clean water.
Awesome, dude.
Did you notice the girl's reaction? Everyone is thanking this man for his unusual job. You probably think this is simple, pointless task, but you would be completely wrong. He must pull these plants down from the reservoir. One mistake could ruin everything, but why can't he go down there himself? Because once the way is clear, everything changes. Just watch the waterfall the second it hits. This shop owner is a total mastermind. You probably think this game is just a scam, but you would be completely wrong. If you beat this unusual challenge, you win $100. The ball keeps bouncing off every single time. But how did a simple wheel become such a mystery? The trick is to use both hands and spin it slowly. Just watch his face when he finally beats it. When this bartender was hit in the face, she had a crazy realization.
If you get hit in the face while you're bartending, people literally just throw extra tips at you.
This girl has to test every drink she orders. She lives with a very dangerous condition. She always orders sugar-free Coca-Cola, and today she used a special device to test if it was actually sugar-free. Suddenly, the test showed it was regular Coca-Cola. The waiter had served her a drink full of sugar, so she immediately called him over and explained. This coach made a huge mistake. He did not believe in his students. He bet no one could hit the bat. The target was 400 feet away. At first, everyone failed just like he expected. One by one, they all missed the target, so he added 2 more bats to help. Even with a bigger target, they kept missing. Until one kid finally stepped up. He proved the coach completely wrong. This dad might actually be a mastermind. His daughter didn't want to take a bath, so he came up with the most unfair game ever. He wrote down 3 choices. It didn't matter where it landed, he made sure she had to do it.
Yeah, let's see which one you got.
This young boy is doing a dangerous job. You probably think he is too old for this, but you would be completely wrong. He has to deliver mail from a moving boat. Suddenly he stumbles and falls. At this waterfall in Switzerland, you actually have to jump straight into a rock wall. You probably think that's very dangerous and it might look easier to slide down this way. That option can be even more risky. Just watch the way this guy does it. Would you ever try this? When this dad was teaching his son how to hit using baseball bats, he did not realize his son was a hidden talent. The kid sent the ball toward the worst spot ever, but with the reflexes of a pro, the dad made a legendary catch, saving himself from a trip to the emergency room. This couple did something unbelievable at their wedding. They first met on a golf course, so instead of a normal walk, they made their guests play a golf. And the craziest part was that the target was the groom himself. The groom stood there as his friend took a action. This is why you should never underestimate a younger fighter. This older fighter sat on the floor to mock his opponent. You probably think he will win, but you would be completely wrong. What happened next was actually genius. The older man was way too confident in himself. Suddenly, the younger fighter used his speed and flipped the pro over. This Marine just did something we all dreamed of. When he was flying high over the open ocean, he got the chance to throw a rock out of the helicopter. So he hurled it straight down at the water. But the chopper was so high up, the rock disappeared in the middle of the air. Suddenly splash.
This tourist attraction is actually a nightmare. Most people can't last more than 2 seconds before giving up. This is the Tilt in Chicago. It allows visitors to lean against the glass 67 floors up. It might look easy from far away, but suddenly the entire wall tilts at a 30-degree angle. When you are leaning, it feels like you're about to fall out of the skyscraper. This gives people a butterfly feeling that makes them quit. Your survival instinct screams to run away immediately. This guy realized he just wasn't built for it. He bailed before the ride even finished. But will you trust this glass with your life?
This girl thought she was the main character, but she celebrated way too early. Look at her sassy victory walk. She thinks the race is already over. However, the real runners are right behind her. She doesn't notice them until it's too late. Suddenly, she gets completely destroyed. Did you see the guy in blue?
Your bike bell immediately. And this guy found a secret trail hack. It is actually 100% effective. Just listen.
Guys, when people are on the trail, I notice like a bell doesn't really work. Saying like on your left doesn't really work. But if you just go, ah! Thank you. That works really well.
But would you try this? This barber just ruined his mother's life. You probably think he's a terrible son, but you'd be completely wrong. His mother was actually fighting cancer. She felt like her beauty was gone forever. But how did a simple haircut turn into an unforgettable moment? He turned the clippers on himself, but the situation gets even more incredible. One by one, his coworkers joined the moment. They all shaved